Six Flags just made a shocking announcement. No, not that one. The other announcement. Yes, that's right. Six Flags plans to invest $1 billion into their parks over these next 2 years. And they basically just told us what they're going to be adding to the parks in 2026. There's a ton of good info to go over, so let's get started. Alright, let's start off with the sad news, and that is that Kingda Ka is officially closed forever. Great Adventure finally made their announcement regarding the fate of Kingda Ka, and as I said, it's not good. And Great Adventure, in their announcement, they basically told us Kingda Ka was closing, and then said, quote, "We understand that saying goodbye to beloved rides can be difficult, and we appreciate our guests' passion. These changes are an important part of our growth and dedication to delivering exceptional new experiences." But in that announcement, they said something very interesting that could make this announcement be a little better. And that is the fact that Great Adventure said that they're going to be adding a multi-record breaking launch coaster in 2026. I don't know about you, but if this is done right, this will be an exceptional replacement to Kingda Ka. Now that obviously raises a few questions. Who is the manufacturer going to be? How long, tall, and fast is it going to be? What records are they actually going to be breaking? Now, of course, this was very preliminary information. We have very little actual concrete info on what this coaster could be. They pretty much left it at record-breaking launch coaster and are now letting us try to figure out the rest. I would say there are 3 manufacturers that I could see building this coaster. 1 Premier, 2 Intamin, and 3 Vekoma. Actually, I take that back. I think there will be 4 potential manufacturers. I think the 4th one could be Mack Ride. So we obviously know that Canada's Wonderland just got Alpenfury, or will be receiving that next year. And that is a Premier Rides launch coaster. Now, if Alpenfury goes over well, and Six Flags is satisfied with Alpenfury, I could definitely see this being a Premier Rides project. And as I've said, a lot of times manufacturers will offer a discount if you buy more than 1 coaster. So it definitely would make sense for Six Flags to have bought 2 Premier Rides launch coasters to put them at Great Adventure in Canada's Wonderland. And then next we've got Intamin. You know, Six Flags, they've shown they are willing to maybe give Intamin another shot, which is great. And I really would like to see an Intamin multi-launch coaster going in that plot of land. That would be great. But unfortunately, I feel like there's a good chance that a Intamin multi-launch coaster breaking actual records is probably a little bit out of Six Flags' price range. Definitely not out of the equation, but Intamins can get pretty pricey. And then we have Vekoma. Now, Vekoma has yet to really prove themselves in the US market. I mean, they've built fantastic coasters over in Europe and everything, but there hasn't really been a major Six Flags or SeaWorld to really give Vekoma a proper chance yet. Could we maybe see this from Six Flags? Maybe, but I'd say that Vekoma is definitely a wild card here. Again, not out of the equation, but I would be fairly shocked if Six Flags Great Adventure announced the Vekoma. Again, it'd be pretty awesome if they did, but I wouldn't count on it. Now, you have all heard about the Mach Striker coaster. It looks fantastic. But again, I think it's a little out of Six Flags' price range for Great Adventure at the moment. I actually think the Striker coaster has a much better chance of going to Six Flags Magic Mountain. But we'll get there in just a sec. So, if I had to guess, I would say it'd probably be Premier Rides. But again, Intamin, Vekoma, or Mach all have a fair shot at maybe getting the coaster. So, we'll have to wait and see. And if you want to stay up to date on this project, and in general all the latest theme park news and rumors, all that, then consider subscribing down below, so don't miss out on any future news, rumors, leaks, etc. Alright, let's move on to the other parks on this list. Starting off with Carowinds, and Carowinds will be receiving a record-breaking water ride. Now, they don't specifically say water slide, which makes me wonder if this could be a water coaster. And I feel like a water coaster would make the most sense, and they could definitely try to break some records. Or maybe it's not even in the water park. This could potentially be a water ride of some sort in the dry park. Because as we know, Carowinds, located in the Carolinas, removed all of their dry park water rides. So could we maybe see maybe a log flume, something like that? But I think if Carowinds is adding a water ride to the dry park, I think it'll be the Mach Power Splash. We've heard rumors about it for years. They've released a survey with it on it. I feel like it just makes the most sense. It'll be cost effective, it'll be nice and marketable, and it will finally provide a good water ride to Carowinds Dry Park. So I would either guess one of these mock power splashes, or maybe a water coaster added to the water park. Next, we have Canada's Wonderland, which will also be adding a new record-breaking water attraction. I find it pretty interesting that the wording is different between these two, record-breaking water ride and then record-breaking water attraction. But if I had to take a guess, I would either say maybe like another mock power splash, a mock water coaster of some sort, or again, maybe a new water coaster for the water park, but I feel like that's highly unlikely because they just added a new water attraction to the water park. So I would say something in the dry park of Canada's Wonderland that has to do with water. Some sort of water ride, and apparently it will break records, so that's cool. Next up, we have Kings Island, and I don't really understand it. We just got Soupy's Soapbox Racers, a family boomerang, which was a good addition. And then now we're getting a family-oriented water coaster. Again, a great addition to Soak City. But now we're getting a family thrill attraction? I just don't really understand. It's been 6 years since Orion, and we've all kind of thought 2026 was probably going to be the big year for Kings Island. Again, it's been many family-oriented attractions basically since COVID. And you know, it's been 6 years, and for Kings Island, that is a very long time between major thrilling coasters. So again, it's a bit of a head-scratcher for me. And if I had to kind of take a preliminary guess for what this could be, I could see it maybe a Vekoma family launch coaster. I feel like that could fit into the park pretty well. I just really hope that's not what the Vortex Pot of Land is used for, because I would really prefer that be used for a major thrilling attraction. So is it something? Yeah. But again, it does feel like it's been quite some time since we got like a major thrilling attraction. And you know, it's basically two family coasters back to back. I just hope that either A, they change their mind and decide to add a thrill attraction, which I am not counting on by the way, or B, we get some really major standout attraction in 2027, which I would say is Kings Island's biggest weakness. Anyway, let's move on to Not Soak City, which will be receiving a water park refresh and aesthetic enhancement, which is always a good thing. I've never been to Not Soak City, so I can't speak on how good the water park in general is, but hey, I like the refresh and aesthetic improvements and all of that. That's a good thing, and I think it'll be a welcomed addition. We're gonna skip Magic Mountain for now because I want to save that for last because that's interesting, and I have some thoughts on all that. So let's talk about Six Flags Great America. It's going to be celebrating its 50th anniversary and we'll be getting a new kids area and some events and park enhancements. Again, just like Not Soak City, great improvement. Again, I'm sure it's going to be a welcomed addition. And hey, now they can reuse all of Kings Island's old 50th anniversary decorations. Even better. We've already discussed Great Adventure, so let's head down to Six Flags Over Texas, where they will be unleashing a record-breaking dive coaster. Now again, this is a little bit of an interesting decision, because we all know that Six Flags Fiesta Texas has Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger. And you know, these parks are only a couple hours away from each other. So it feels a little interesting that both of these parks would be getting dive coasters within a couple years. I guess Fiesta Texas's dive coaster is like a mini dive coaster. And in this, it does say that this will be a record-breaking dive coaster. So maybe we're going to be seeing a larger scale dive coaster, something like Valraven Yukon Striker size potentially. Or maybe they're going to go for the inversion or steepness record or something like that. But it's still very similar coasters right next to each other pretty much. And I get they are appealing to different, like, I guess population centers. So I guess it does make a little more sense when you think about that. Because there are not a ton of people who live in Texas who are going to both. So actually, I guess the more you think about it, it makes a little more sense when you think about it in like different population centers and all of that. But again, it's still two dive coasters, pretty close. But I am still excited to see what this record-breaking dive coaster entails. And I do feel like it would fit into Over Texas's coaster lineup pretty well. So definitely looking forward to see how that all turns out. And now down to Six Flags Mexico. Remember how we saw Vekoma track on site like a couple months ago and we were getting rumors that they're getting the family boomerang coaster? Well, they're finally actually announcing that and getting that. Which again, family boomerangs are great, and I'm sure again that it will be a welcomed addition to Six Flags Mexico. But now it's finally time to talk about Six Flags Magic Mountain, because this is where it gets very, very interesting, because they are going to be adding a first of its kind coaster within North America. I don't know about you, but that screams mock striker coaster to me. And I've heard a lot of other people mention that too. Because when you do think about it, it makes everything's aligning pretty much perfectly. First of its kind coaster in North America. We know that there is Voltron at Europa Park, which was the first mock striker coaster, and that's in Europe, so it would make sense for it to be the first one in North America. And then it's Six Flags Magic Mountain, a park Six Flags is definitely willing to invest in, meaning it would make sense for them to add such a major attraction. And then striker coasters are very high capacity, and Magic Mountain is very busy. So again, that makes sense. That personally makes the most sense to me, and I feel like a lot of people would agree with that. But I'm going to kind of throw in a little bit of a wild card here. Just for the fun of it. What if this was an S&S Axis coaster? Because we know that an Axis coaster is already being built, and it is outside of North America. And if they want to mark this as first of its kind, it's definitely one of the first of its kind. Now, just to clarify, do I really think it's going to be an Axis coaster? No, I don't really think it makes a ton of sense. I don't think it's high enough capacity. And I think you'd have a lot of people who could potentially, shy away from the coaster, not wanting to get sick or whatever. There are former reasons why they shouldn't really add an Axis coaster compared to a striker coaster. And again, Axis coaster is very unproven. We don't know if it's going to be an unreliable mess, or if it's going to be completely fine. We just don't know yet. But the mock striker coaster, Voltron, has proven to be a relatively reliable coaster. And I think in general, a Voltron style attraction would just fit better within the coaster lineup, because you already have X2, which is, somewhat similar to an Axis coaster. And I feel like a Voltron style coaster will also be more marketable, run more consistently, higher capacity, all of that. So which one do I think it'll be? Striker coaster or Axis coaster? I'm going to say absolutely the striker coaster. It simply makes more sense. But I am still really excited to see what Magic Mountain decides to do with this project, because I have a feeling it'll be really cool whatever it is. Wow, that was a lot. Tons of new coasters and attractions and all of that. This took a lot of time to make, so if you did enjoy the video, then dropping a like down below is a great way to say thank you. And if you want to stay up to date on all of these new coasters, I will be following them and updating you guys on all the latest rumors as we get more information about all of these coasters. So then make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on any of that. By the way, if you want to know why Cedar Fair didn't like Intamin for so many years and refused to work with him, then check out the video on your screen right now, because it's really interesting actually. Alright, thank you guys for watching, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next one.